Hey, welcome back. How's everybody? I'm sure by now you're getting used to what it's like being in a kitchen all the time. Kind of funny for all of us professionals. Glued to the stove, you're looking around for mise en place, meaning your mess in place, looking around for utensils, and figuring out what byproducts you have or leftovers. I see a lot of comments on YouTube. By the way, thank everyone for all the comments. And what I really like is when you're making one of the dishes and you post it. That's fun for me, and I can also, field some questions. Like I said in the beginning, I wanted this to be more about the technique and the setup of your kitchen than showing a quick little cute way to make a recipe or some flavors. That may be the byproduct, and I keep repeating that word, because in a professional kitchen, we have an area in the walk-in that's called staff meal, family meal, or byproducts. Everyone should have in their kitchen one designated area. And what I mean by that is when you reach into the refrigerator, that you look and you decide which area is going to have things in containers. And I pick containers that are, from the restaurant business. We have cases of them that are the same size and that are going to go into the refrigerator with whatever products that I have. The fresh and unprocessed food is down below, and then keeping an area in the kitchen where when I'm making something, I can pull something out, put it out of the pan and put it right in and put it away. So that's key. So I will make very clear in what I'm trying to teach is that one person is the chef. One person's in charge of the kitchen. You don't want to be looking for utensils. And when you have kids, husband and wife, and you're using this area more frequently, now in this time with the coronavirus and everyone's in the kitchen, it's really a time to start off from ground zero and set some solid rules so people can operate efficiently and peacefully in the kitchen to avoid conflict. In the professional kitchen, there's one or two bosses, the chef, the sous chefs, and believe me, they are on everyone to put everything back in its place. So we made this the other day. This was the pork dish, and it was made in this pressure cooker, and I was able to put the pressure cooker right in the refrigerator. And staying a few days ahead, if you want to take a peek inside, there is fat on the top of it from the coconut milk and from the pork, and I'm going to look to remove that right now and go to make some of our products. So this needs to have a home. So the easiest way is to take the fat off, and I put it in a container that's going to go right in the trash. I don't need to save this fat for any reason, and you're able to use the products. And the reason I'm doing it like this is I don't want to have to put my hand in and then wash my hand, so I'm trying to use a utensil that is the fish spatula that's going to allow it to come off neat and clean. And the less you're washing your hands or dirtying a rag, the more efficient you're going to be in the kitchen. Okay? Fat, container, trash. Keep the trash out and available to you, so then that way it's nearby. For this Pai Tai dish that we're going to use with the pork, I'm going to put the noodles in because everything is about timing. I'm going to put a handful of the noodles in and let them cook. Should have had the burner up a little bit more. This doesn't take too long. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to cut some of the Napa cabbage. And now that's done. Now I would normally just put this in a box or put it in the refrigerator somewhere, but I'm going to put it in here for right now. Put it off to the side, so that's going to go in the refrigerator. And I have my Napa cabbage. Now I'm going to take my leek, square off one end, trim the other end, slice down the middle, quarter it because I want diamonds. And I've got my two little piles of what I'm going to put in. Now if you take a look, there may need to be some dirt on that. It needs to be washed off. So quick little wash is I keep a little strainer nearby to give it a little rinse. This is my noodles coming along very nicely. This is going to go fast in about another minute. Give these a little rinse. Get some of the dirt out. No problem. Napa cabbage, put that in a bowl. Keeping this other bowl that I'm going to put a little oil in it. So when the pasta's done, the rice noodles, I'm gonna strain them, which is about any minute now. These cook very fast. And I'm gonna crisp these up in the pan using the same pan so that we don't have to rinse it off, and it's gonna go back on the fire hot. So we're gonna say, well, how do we do this? Well, watch, here's the noodles. Here's my strainer. Keep a little strainer nearby. Toss them out. You're working out of one pan, so you're keeping this to a one pan meal. Right in here, put the strainer on top. There's a little bit of noodles in there, so let me just look them. So the noodles there, I'm gonna dry this pan off like this. Get it ready, put it on the stove, more oil back in. Now you're ready to saute, literally out of the same pan. Turn the heat down, give this a wipe. Now the vegetables can all go in this bowl. So what does that do? It clears your cutting board for the next process of what you're gonna do. Now when I cook this pork, and like you would cook it, I'm gonna refrigerate this back in the wok, and I'm not gonna heat up the whole pork. I'm not gonna take it out of this container and put it in something else. This is a good vehicle, and if I wanted to heat the whole thing, I can put it back on the fire and heat the whole dish, but we're not using that much of it. I don't wanna clean my cutting board every single time. So we usually put parchment paper down in the restaurant, but this is how we're gonna do it. Take a look at the pork. I'm gonna pull out a section. If you remember, I tied this, so I'm gonna give it a cut like this, and it falls apart. Put it over here, and I'm gonna break it apart so I can see what I have, and any of the other juice is gonna drain off. So that's beautiful. Move my rag, wash my hands. And now that is off to the side, and I'm able to cut now with, chop my garlic, give this a little wipe on my knife. All of this is important on working in a small environment and keeping things moving, clean and neat, and you're not working in a mess. When they say mise en place, truly what that means is mess in place. Everybody says it, sounds cute, sounds wonderful, but if you don't have a system on where you're laying things out ahead of time and where you're gonna reach, you're not gonna cook efficiently. And if you reach for something and you're scattering and it's not there, you're gonna burn whatever you're making, or you're gonna be frustrated. If you get frustrated, and throws you off your game, and you have difficulty coming back on that. Now, let's have some fun. Demi-teaspoon that I was looking for earlier, keep it in one spot. I'm going coriander. I'm gonna do a little bit of star anise. I'm gonna do a little bit of cardamom and a little bit of fennel, because I like it. So blend. This dish is very quick from this point on. The meat is gonna quickly get browned. I'm gonna put the garlic in first, because I'm gonna wanna stop that cooking when it gets toasted. And I want it to burn a little bit or get charred, and it will very quickly. And then the rest of this is really gonna be 1, 2, 3. And I'll show you why. I can make a choice now of charring and giving a little caramelization on the pasta or the pork. I could pick one or the other, or I could do both. And I'll show you how we would do both, which is using the pan properly for 2 different sides of the pan, and then mix them together. So all of these are techniques for using one pan. The spice is gonna go in after this garlic starts to get toasted and brown. It gets that nice golden brown and not burnt flavor. I like it a little toasted more than most. Some people would look at some of my garlic and go, Chef, I really feel like the garlic is a little burnt. And I'll just kindly look at them and shake my head. No, it's not. Okay. High Thai noodles. Here we go. Noodles. Pork, I'm picking up the rag. Dump it. Keeping it clean. Throw it away. Your board is clean. Gonna caramelize that a little bit. Sesame oil is going in now, and the spice is gonna go in now. washcloth. So it's going to go over the meat and get charred. I want my vegetables a little crispy. I don't want them to be overcooked and have that little crunch. Also, they retain all of their nutrients when they're in the raw state. As you cook things more, you're losing their nutrients and you're losing their medicinal properties that are involved. So I'm going to switch spatulas because I want to come off the bottom of the pan, i.e. the noodles, getting those a little charred. Moving around. Also go underneath so it comes right off the pan. Now watch. This coconut and pork sauce. Put in just as much as you need, and I'm reaching right into the container because we're not going to use all of it. I got most of the fat away. That's more than we need, so watch. And let it deglaze and let it reduce. The smaller amount you put in, a little salt. This is going to be left over, byproduct. Putting the leeks in, and a little bit of the cabbage. Carrots, I want to have just a little crispiness to them. Okay, let's give this a little flip, turn this up just a little bit. Get it on the floor, like no different than somebody else's house. Now, if you would stay on that pan right in here for 2 seconds, you're going to watch how that comes up and caramelizes for 1 second. And then we're going to go to plating. Fast little dish. This is sunflower peanut butter. A little bit in at the end. This is fresh lemongrass. Excuse me, tube lemongrass from the store that you would buy probably at Stop and Shop or Shaw's or Market Basket or any store out there that's going to last. I'm putting that at the end fresh because I want to taste it. Give that peanut sauce just a little bit of a toss. And we're ready for plating. Turn the stove off. And there we have a quick dish. This is one of 4 meals you can make out of that. I'm going to do some little roll-ups and burritos. I'm going to take the rest of the coconut and pork and make a soup out of it. But this is a quick dinner that is extremely flavorful. The coconut and the spices are reduced, so it's quick. Now here's the fun part. Clean up. In the pan, and as I said, all these things I've shown you earlier is why this is important. Is you clean as you go, you'll have everything ready to go and quickly not be spending the rest of the day and night cleaning your kitchen. And that's why it's important that everybody's on the same page, one person is the boss, everything is in the same spot each time, because you're cooking 3 meals a day and snacks, and if you're coming over to a sink that is trashed every single time, it's going to be frustrating, and you're going to be in a position that you're going to be scolding one another and not wanting to step into the kitchen to make your dishes. I hope this is helpful. I really enjoy all of your comments. Have a great day.